It was a cold evening in London. Inside the city's finest five-star hotel, a special event was taking place. Zara, dressed simply in her staff uniform, her hair neatly tied back, stood tall with a tray balanced in her hands. As always, there was a quiet tiredness in her eyes, and yet a stubborn glimmer of hope, too. Just then, from across the grand hall entered a tall young man, dressed sharply in an expensive suit. Ayan Malik, the famous business tycoon's son. His eyes were filled with confidence, and his smile was the kind that could bend the world at his feet. Zara's eyes caught sight of him. Quickly she lowered her gaze, her heart skipping a beat. Ayan, too, noticed her. But it was only a passing glance, the way one notices a fleeting shadow in a crowded city street and then forgets it. Yet in Zara's heart, a soft storm had already begun. Perhaps, in that single moment, a new dream was quietly born. But for Ayan, she was just another waitress, just another forgettable face in the crowd. Little did he know, destiny had something else written for them. Days passed. Zara's silent admiration for Ayan only grew stronger. Every time he visited the hotel with his wealthy friends, Zara would steal a glance from afar. A glance filled with dreams she dared not speak aloud. One evening, gathering all the courage in her fragile heart, she decided to approach him. Her hands trembled slightly as she placed the coffee on his table, her voice barely a whisper. "Sir, I admire you." Ayan looked up, his expression amused. For a moment, there was silence. Then he laughed, not kindly, but coldly, sharply. "You?" he said, smirking. "Girls like you are meant to serve, not to dream beyond your place." Zara's heart shattered at his words. She stood there, frozen, as if the entire room was watching her, her cheeks burning with humiliation, her eyes fighting tears. Without another word, she turned away, clutching the tray to her chest like a broken shield. In that moment, Zara realized some dreams weren't crushed by fate. Some were crushed by people. After that night, something inside Zara changed. She still smiled as she served tea and coffee to strangers. But now, the smile never reached her eyes. Where hope once lived, there was now a quiet, painful emptiness. She stopped looking for Ayan across the grand lobby, stopped believing that maybe, just maybe, someone like him could ever see the heart behind the uniform. Ayan, meanwhile, continued his life, untouched and unaware. Luxury cars, high-profile parties, shallow friendships, his world spun fast, too fast to notice the girl with the broken dreams serving at the corner of his reality. And Zara? She built walls around her heart, each brick laid with disappointment and silent tears. The hotel became her world, a world where love was just another fairy tale meant for someone else. Little did she know, life was quietly preparing a twist, hidden beyond the pain, a meeting written by destiny where roles would be reversed. Months passed, the city moved on, seasons changed, but something within Ayan began to shift. Parties started feeling empty, laughter sounded hollow. Success tasted bitter. One rainy evening, driven by a strange restlessness he couldn't explain, Ayan found himself walking into the same five-star hotel once again. The chandeliers still sparkled, the marble floors still shone, but somehow everything felt different. And then, across the crowded lobby, he saw her. Zara. But she wasn't the same girl anymore. There was a quiet grace about her now, a strength that wasn't born from privilege, but from surviving heartbreaks no one ever saw. Her eyes no longer searched for anyone. They carried the weight of someone who had learned to stand alone. For the first time, Ayan didn't see a waitress. He saw a woman, proud, beautiful, untouchable. A strange ache grew in his chest, regret, real, burning regret. He realized the girl he had once dismissed was the one he could never forget. And maybe it was already too late. The next day, Ayan arrived early at the hotel, his heart pounding with a mix of anxiety and hope. He walked through the lobby, past the same familiar faces, but his mind was focused on one person, Zara. As he approached the counter, his eyes scanned the room until they landed on her. She was standing by the window, wiping down the polished surface of a table, her back turned to him. He almost didn't recognize her. She had changed, grown in ways he couldn't have imagined. Taking a deep breath, Ayan stepped forward. His voice, though tentative, carried an urgency he couldn't ignore. "Zara!" She turned, surprised to see him. For a moment, neither of them spoke. The silence between them felt heavier than the years that had passed. Finally, Ayan spoke again, his words trembling. "I was wrong. I hurt you, and I regret it every day. The truth is, I never saw you for who you really are. Someone far more beautiful and strong than I ever realized. I need you to know that I'm sorry." Zara looked at him, her face a mix of disbelief and something softer, something like understanding. She stood there, not rushing to respond, as if measuring the weight of his apology. For a moment, time seemed to stand still. Zara finally whispered, her voice steady but gentle. "You broke my heart, Ayan. But I'm not the same person anymore. I don't need your apology. I've learned to heal on my own." Ayan's heart clenched. He could feel the sting of her words, but there was something else in her eyes now. A quiet strength, a calm acceptance. "You may not need my apology," he said, his voice soft, "but I need you to know I was blind. I was foolish. I've lost so much because I couldn't see you for who you truly were." Zara smiled, a bittersweet smile. She nodded, as if acknowledging the truth in his words. "You were right about one thing," she said. "I don't need your apology, but for what it's worth, I've forgiven you." Ayan's chest tightened with a mixture of relief and sorrow. He realized that even if Zara had forgiven him, the love they could have shared was now lost to time. But as he stood there looking into her eyes, he understood one thing. Sometimes the hardest lessons in life came too late. And for Zara, perhaps, this was her story to tell, one where she learned to stand alone, strong and unbroken.